Most men think that losing the love handles is about doing endless crunches and cardio, but it's not. Because after years of working at a desk, eating out, and maybe drinking a little bit too much, many guys feel they're fighting an uphill battle that's impossible to win with exercise alone. But what if I showed you 2 simple shifts you can make to your routine today that will eventually have you waking up to see toned abs and obliques, even if you have a hectic schedule. So here's the biggest myth that you've been told about losing love handles, and 2 metabolic shifts that burn off belly fat for good in as little as 90 minutes a week. Firstly, do you remember these things? In just 10 minutes a day in the privacy and comfort of your own home, you can get ripped abs in 30 days. Yes, the ab swing. Once upon a time, I actually believed that, but I never saw my ripped abs in 30 days. The fact is, we could do 100 crunches and sit-ups every single day for 3 months and still not see our abs. And that's because doing crunches and sit-ups will make your abdominals and your oblique muscles stronger and thicker. But training these muscles will not target fat burning exactly in our abs, hips, and lower back. Because when we lose fat, we lose it all over our body, typically starting in our hands and feet and working our way up, also from the face down, which means around the midsection is the last spot to go, which is why us men hold most of it in our chest, belly, hips, and lower back. But the reason the love handles appeared in the first place, it's kind of like if you have more money going into your bank account, but less expenses, there'll be more savings left over. Savings is kind of like body fat. And as a result, this is caused by your metabolism burning off less than the amount of calories that is in your diet. Also called a metabolic decline and a calorie surplus. The good news is when you fix this, your metabolism will start to burn off more body fat consistently when you are in a calorie deficit. And this leads us to the first shift that you need to make. Now, completely burning off the love handles isn't always a case of just dropping 10, 20, or 30 pounds. It's about achieving a lean body fat level. I'll show you what I mean. So this is what 20% body fat looks like. He's not exactly massively overweight or fat, but his chest, his lower belly, and his hips is still holding that extra belly fat. And now this is 18% body fat. In this picture, this guy is noticeably leaner, and there's only a little bit of fat left around the hips, the chest, and the lower belly. Now here is where the magic happens. This is approximately 15% body fat. And as you can see, there is a lot less fat around the chest. The hips are almost flat here, going straight down into the pants, and there's very little body fat left around the lower belly and the abs. He's only a couple of percent away from actually having ab definition. Because here's an example of 13% from the same guy, and as you can see, now his obliques are starting to show. There is more ab outline coming through, very little fat left on the lower belly, and his pecs are now looking way more cut than before. So no matter what your current body fat level is, your first milestone is to get to 15% or below, somewhere between 13 to 15, because in this range, you will lose the love handles and have a lot more muscle definition. By the way, it is common that men need to lose 5 or 10 pounds more or kilos than they expected to reach these low levels of body fat. This is why this first smart shift you need to do is to fix your diet. But there's a catch. I won't tell you to fast for 24 hours or to do keto or carnivore or a vegan diet or completely cut all of your favorite foods out overnight. Because instead, if you want to maintain your ab definition once you achieve it, you first need to achieve that 14% or roundabouts using the most sustainable method. And you can do that by sticking to a calorie budget that is below your metabolic burn for the day. So imagine that you burn 2,400 calories per day. Some days might be higher, some might be lower. Then a minimum deficit of 550 calories per day can help you start shedding up to 1 pound of body fat per week. This means your budget per day would be around 1,850 calories or about 12,950 calories for the entire week. Once you implement this budget into your daily routine, you'll have more flexibility to include family dinners, healthy snacks, and even the odd dessert. This is sustainable even for my busiest clients who travel every month and have kids and multiple businesses. If they can do it, you can too. And then when you combine this first shift with the second shift we're about to cover, you'll gain more muscle definition and protect your body against gaining more fat in the future. One problem I see with guys who rapidly lose body fat, even if they're doing a lot of cardio 4, 5, or 6 days a week, many of them end up having a skinny fat looking body shape because their arms and their legs are slim and maybe even toned, but there's still fat hanging onto their chest, belly and their hips. Now the first reason is that they're just not in that 13 to 15% body fat range yet. But there is another factor, which is their low muscle ratio. Because even if we shed a lot of body fat, if we have a low muscle mass, we will have a slow metabolism, less energy, less strength, and as a result, lower testosterone. And this makes it harder to lose more body fat and at the same time easier to gain it. But more cardio is not the answer because cardio doesn't build noticeable muscle. This is why many marathon runners are very skinny and bony looking because they lack muscle mass, even at a very low body fat level. However, by implementing just 3 consistent full body workouts a week, you'll build more muscle faster and you can shift your body to have a high muscle ratio with a 15% or below body fat percentage. And the benefit is that the more muscle you have, the more your metabolism will be elevated even when you're resting. And this study here showed as much as 5% the impact can be on our basal metabolic rate by building more muscle over the long term. Now 5% sounds very small. That could raise your metabolism by up to 100 calories or even more per day by not doing anything extra, just by having more muscle. And this still contributes to keep the body fat off, even when you're not training every day. Another thing you'll notice is that men who have an above average muscle mass for their age are unlikely to have low testosterone. However, men who do have low testosterone are typically affected by sarcopenia, which is age-related muscle loss. And the only way to fix that is to increase your muscle mass. And most importantly, keep it. More muscle, high testosterone go hand in hand, along with the physical benefits of having thicker chest, wider shoulders, and lats with sculpted arms, which helps our waist appear even narrower, giving us that nice V-tapered look. So make sure to include lat and shoulder exercises in all of your workouts, provided you take a rest day in between at least. This will increase your shoulder to waist ratio. And if you want to optimize your diet step by step to start shedding more body fat this week, grab a copy of my Get Ripped report. The link is in the description. And after you get your copy, go watch this video where I can show you how to optimize your diet to shift your body into a fat loss mode while building more muscle.